Y'all, these sunglasses endured 2,650 miles of dirt, sweat, and mishaps on the Pacific Crest Trail. Did they survive? Well, let's find out. Hey y'all, welcome. Jeffrey here. On my 2,650 mile, I always say exactly how many miles, I don't want anybody to forget. On my Pacific Crest Trail thru-hike, my Ombraz, these sunglasses, became a constant companion. Today, I'm going to share how they performed, the beating they took, and whether or not we think they have lived to see another hike. I don't know. I have loved these. These were my go-to for sun protection. And as an ultralight backpacker, maybe one of the biggest perks is how lightweight and rugged they are. Of course, the link to the glasses that I wore, these are the Ligero. I think that's how you say it. Link is in the bio if you want to snag your own. But with that, let's dive right in and talk about these puppies. So first and foremost, when you're using them for something like this, I mean, obviously, if you're not familiar, the Pacific Crest Trail is a long-distance trail that goes from the southern border of California, the Mexican border, all the way up through California, Oregon, and Washington to Canada, to the Canadian border. It's 2,650 miles, and it took me about 5 months, a little under 5 months. So anyway, durability was obviously front and center. So the most notable thing about these, obviously, is that they don't have normal, what do you call these, earpieces, whatever those are. Instead, they have a string. It's a nylon cord. And I think, because there's no hinges, that's such a common breaking point. And I think that is part of what makes these so lovely is we're going to get to it, but they're so rugged. They're really durable. Not only, obviously, they're more durable because they don't have normal earpieces and hinges, which are famously not flexible. But also the frames and the lenses are really durable too. If you were to see these on display at a trade show, they have like a little stomping station where they give you a pair to stomp. And it's just nearly impossible to break them. So the lenses, the Zeiss lenses, have a what do you call it? Scratch-proof coating. I'll let you see mine up close, just so you can see what kind of condition they're in. I'll also show you the cord and what kind of condition it's in because. So these are the ones. I have a couple pair, but these are the ones I wore on the PCT. I just want you to be able to see exactly what condition they're in. And the thing is, because they're so simple, there's just not very much to go wrong. One place that they could fail would be the cord, but it has been so durable. The way it works is these things slide along like that. And that's how you tighten them and untighten them. And as you can see, I was really worried they were going to lose their grab because once you get it to the length that you want, you don't want it to move. And I was really worried. Let me show you from the back. I was really worried that over time that this was going to loosen and it wasn't going to stay taut. And that obviously is not the case. If anything, it's still difficult to get them opened. But you can see the nylon cord, that's what I expected to fail. I was like, oh, just 5 months in the nature, there's no way, it's fabric, but they did. And I also washed these. That's another thing. This cord has been washed so many times. I don't know how they tell you to, well, let's find out. Why don't I look? That would be good knowledge to have. I was going to say, I don't know how they suggest that you clean them. Let's see. How to clean your Ombraz. Let's learn together. Okay, salt water won't damage the cord. That's good to know. I see lots of, I'm not a big water sports guy, but I see a lot of people wearing these, surfing and doing other things on the water. So it's good to know. Salt water will not damage the cord. It's marine grade and antimicrobial. But sweat, salt water, and sunscreen can damage your lenses and frames over time, so it's a good idea to rinse everything once in a while. Feel free to clean your Ombraz with any normal hand soap and warm or cold water. Great. So what I was going to say that's probably not approved and sanctioned by Ombraz, but I haven't done it, but I feel like I would pretty confidently throw these in the wash. I would probably put them in something fabric that's super soft, and like super soft, not something that might like micro abrase them. But I don't know. I would do that. I don't think that's recommended, and I have not done that, so maybe don't do that. I probably shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'll cut that. I probably shouldn't be saying things that I'm going to regret. What I did is I would just take like a bowl, a little Tupperware dish, some sort of plastic container. It doesn't have to be plastic. It could be literally any vessel that these will fit in. And I would put a little dishwashing detergent. One thing, a lot of like, it's gross, but thru-hiking is gross. It just is how it is. So like gunky, oily stuff would build up like up in here and like in the corners of the lenses and stuff. And so I wanted something that like cut fat, oil, grease. So I would put them in a bowl with some warm water and some usually dish detergent. And I would just let them sit. I'd jostle them around once in a while. I think I did it 2 or 3 times on the trail during town stops. And again, they've held up great. Like you can see like almost know where, or, you know, sometimes when you launder things, like fabrics don't do well, but these really have. Sorry, I can't get it to focus. There you go. So anyway, all that to say, super durable. There are some scratches, but they're, well, let's see. So I can see a couple tiny scratches. Sorry, I'm just trying to move them around so I can see. Yeah, I see just a couple tiny scratches that are perceptible. But they're not distracting, and these still have so much life left in them. Honestly, after 5 months of using them as hard as I did, I would not expect to get more life out of them. I think they have done their duty. So I don't know. I just think it's pretty impressive that I could still wear them. I think that's pretty wild. And you know, these sunglasses have been through the ringer. I mean, they've been stuffed into my pack, it dropped in the dirt, drenched in rain, dropped in the snow. Multiple times I was in a panic because I couldn't find them, only to realize that they were hanging around my neck, which is one of my favorite features. We'll get to that. Actually, why don't we just get to the features right now? Hello. Hey, if you are sitting there thinking, oh, I want to travel more, I want to go on more adventures, come with me. I host trips around the world. We've been hiking in Patagonia. We went looking for the Northern Lights in Iceland, trekking in Nepal, camping in Banff, Canada, in the Canadian Rockies. We do it all, and we have a real good time. Everyone's welcome. And all the details for any current trips, just click that little bubble up in the top corner, or go to my website, jjb.life/travel. And we almost always make at least one group cringy TikTok. So come hang out with us. We're a real good time. So first and foremost, they're super lightweight. This is the Ligero. They are 23 grams or 0.8 ounces. So less than a full ounce. They're lighter than any traditional sunglasses. So if you're conscious of how much weight you're carrying, either in your pack or on your body, that's really important. The adjustable cord, it keeps them so secure, even in windy mountain passes or in the water. When I first got them, I would strap them down so tight because it was hard to trust the cord. It just was. And so I would really batten down my hatches, and they're just like glued to my face like this. I guess you can't really tell. I can sure feel it. And then I realized that's not necessary. They can be This is great. There's no reason for them to be like super, super tight. It feels like they're not secure just because we're used to having a physical arm, but that's not necessary. They're so secure. They're great. I think the only time that they get a little tricky is putting them on in a car. And it's just because, in order to tighten this, you have to pull these apart. And it just took me a while to figure out how to do it with one hand, which I can do now. But that was the only thing that was a little tricky. But I think, one of the biggest perks is because of the cord, they're always around your neck. And that's a huge reason why I think these still have life left in them, because every time I took them off, they didn't get set down where they could get set on, moved, things set on them. It just eliminates so many opportunities for them to get destroyed. So I'm sure that's a part of why their durability has been so good. Lens options, you have a few different color options, and I would not make the choice based on fashion. They have practical, there are practical reasons to choose which lens color you want. So gray is great for very sunny conditions. It's great for snow sports, things like that. For me, I was really only considering the brown or the yellow. That is what I would suggest, recommend for trail running, for backpacking, for hiking, for things like that. Not a huge difference between the brown and the yellow, but the one reason for trail running, I would suggest yellow. And here's why. Because the yellow, while it doesn't block out as much light, it allows you to go quickly from a bright environment to a shaded environment, like into a group of trees on the side of a mountain, something like that. It allows you to go from varying light conditions quickly without your eyes struggling as much to adjust. If you have the brown lenses versus the yellow lenses and you're moving at a faster pace running down a trail, it is possible when you go from, enter into a set of trees or something like that, where there's a really notable, or even like sometimes the clouds can block out the sun to make enough difference in the sunlight that your eyes might need a second, half a second to properly adjust. Is it the end of the world? No, but it can cause falls, things like that. So anyway, the faster you're moving, the more I would suggest the yellow lenses. The slower you're moving, I think you're fine to go with the brown lenses. They're going to block a little bit more of the sun out. And if you're not moving quickly, you're not going to experience the effects of your eyes needing to adjust. Downsides, I think, the only downside that I can think of is the price. They are well made and they are priced accordingly. They're $160, which in the world of sunglasses is not that crazy. Sunglasses can get pretty out of control, but I don't know. For me, I do feel like they're an investment, but I think a worthwhile one, for how durable they are, how comfortable they are, and the fact that I use these so hard for 5 months and they're still usable and still have life left in them. You get what you pay for. At the end of the day, there's so many sunglass options, but I really felt like durability mattered for something like a thru-hike, and these Ombraz, they super delivered. I couldn't have been happier with them. If you're a thru-hiker or a backpacker looking for ultralight, durable sunglasses, highly recommend these. For the best experience, just make sure you pick lenses that match your activity. That's an important choice. So don't just brush over it and choose which lens you think is cutest. There are practical, useful reasons for choosing your lenses. I would go with brown for backpacking, yellow for trail running, but it's up to you. You do you. So, did my Ombraz survive 2,650 miles on the PCT? I think so. Absolutely. They're still going strong. So, if you're interested in checking these out or any of the other gear that I used on my thru-hike, check out the affiliate links in the description. You can also watch all of my PCT vlogs. The link is also in the description. And I host trips like all over the world. Right now I have one going to Banff. It's almost full, but feel free to check the link in the video description because I always have new trips that I'm announcing. So come travel with me. We have a pretty had a pretty good time. All right, see you next time. Later, y'all. Want to watch another video? Click here. Want to learn more about my upcoming trips? Click here. Want to subscribe and like all my videos and turn those bell notifications on?